My feeling is I should stay, they should go. Okay, not Patty. I'm saying I should stay and they should go. I was here first and they should go. Or they should stop coming.
Right. And with the mayor on the way out, at least, do you feel like things are going to get any better?
Yes.
Yeah?
I already feel better that he's on his way out. Okay? Yes. Things definitely will get better.
What are you looking forward to?
First of all, I'm looking forward to him not being the mayor. Okay? This is something I am deeply looking forward to. Okay? And Bill de Blasio, who I voted for, who certainly cannot keep all these campaign promises, there's no way he can, has to keep some of them. Because unlike Bloomberg, he cannot buy his way into office each time. He has to give to the people who voted for him some things he said he would. Bloomberg never did that. Bloomberg did things that he never ran on. I mean, he became the mayor because of September 11th. No one ever says this. That is why he is the mayor. That's why he was the mayor. Became the mayor. Right after September 11th, I don't know how long it was, his first big act, surprising act, was you can't smoke a cigarette in a restaurant. Really, was that the number one thing on the did you ever hear a New Yorker say, New York would be so much better if only no one could smoke in restaurants? No one ever said that.
Everyone says that now, though. At least they claim to.
People say that they like it because now they expect it. Because and also, they're not the same people.
Right.
They're not the same people. Okay? So, it's like these bicycles, these city bikes. And I was at a restaurant that, when they started putting them in, a restaurant I go to in my neighborhood, and the guy who owns the restaurant said they just showed up with these 100 bikes put in front of the restaurant. And he said he didn't want them, they didn't ask him, they just put them there. And they sent a guy to talk to him about it. And the guy said to me, where should they be? I said, what did you say? He said, I didn't know what to say. What would you have said? I would have said Seattle. They should be in Seattle. The way of life that Bloomberg wants to, the way he wants New Yorkers to live, you can live that way. In Seattle, in Portland. There are places to live that way. To me, it seems absurd to move to New York so you can ride a bicycle. That really is not the point of New York. Not every place has to be the same. It seems to me, it's like these people, these tourists that you see, in Times Square, going to eat in these restaurants that are every single place in the country.
So what is the point of New York?
The point of New York is that there were lots of different kinds of people and different kinds of ways of life here. And that there was a lot of freedom. There was always more freedom, personal freedom in New York than in other places. And Bloomberg took a lot of that personal freedom away. He was very, as you know, not only dictatorial in a legal sense, by just announcing things that are going to happen, not running on them, just doing them. I never heard him say, we'll replace St. Vincent's Hospital with condominiums. Who could have won on that? That's what he did. There's no other mayor would have done that. The argument that St. Vincent's Hospital was not making money, it's a hospital. Not everything's supposed to make money. The business model is a very bad model for everything that's not a business. That's the problem with Bloomberg.
Right, you talk about development, you look at the building over there, right, the luxury Finger, it's totally empty, right, all the lights are off, nobody's home, so maybe on the lower, that's a big part of this, right, he says he wants all the billionaires to move here, nobody lives here, everything's empty. That's
right, and look where we are, look where we're standing, right, so I know that he mentioned that Andrea Blas gave this space for this, this event. That's nice, but I'm guessing that's because it wasn't rented out to someone.
Right.
I've never heard of a business that said, we could be making a lot of money here tonight, but we're going to give it to you for free. I don't think that's what happened. Look at all these office buildings. Look at what he wants to do on the Upper East Side, which is basically knock down Park Avenue.
Right.
Did you ever hear anyone say there's not enough tall buildings on Park Avenue? He never solved problems, he made different problems. There are things people cared about in New York. There's still things people care about in New York. Okay? How much better is the school system since he was the mayor for 12 years? Not better at all. Nobody who has children who can in any way afford to send them, not to send them to public school, doesn't do it. Okay, and that is because he did not succeed. All right, that's the job of a mayor. The public school's job of a mayor.
Right.
Gay marriage, that wasn't the job of the mayor. He raced up to Albany. The mayoralty is a municipal issue. He wasn't elected like the boss of the world. So that's my objection.
Right. Is there hope?
Yes,
I mean,
he's leaving. He's gone.
Right. But
it
so, I
will
mean,
absolutely get better.
How much should be undone? How much will be undone? Especially now that all these people are here who seem to love all the things that he's created.
First of all, I mean, I think it is incredibly regressive for a city to depend on tourism. All right, I mean, for tourism to be the main source of money in a place is what used to happen to Caribbean islands that had no resources, that had only beaches, all right? But New York had unbelievably immense human resources. I think it's a very bad idea and of course, I believe that politicians prefer tourists to citizens because they don't vote.
Right.
Because they're in, because they're out. So they only care about the 6 days they're here, and they want certain things, and even if it's very expensive for them, 6 days, okay? But, so that, I think tourists are bad for a city, actually. I think, because eventually what you do is it's like children, all right? If people have children in their apartment, I mean, their children, eventually the apartment very quickly becomes about the children because there's lots of parts of the apartment that are dangerous if you're 2 years old. So the apartment devolves to the level of a 2-year-old. That's an individual choice, right? But a city that depends on tourism devolves very quickly to the level of a tourist, all right? It's like Times Square. I mean, when people say, but Fran, don't you think it's better than it was before? Like, the only two choices in the world are terrible crime and tourists. Those are not the only two choices in the world.